We met through my friend Jill. Jill and I lived together, well, we were friends in high school, junior high, and then we lived together for 4 years in college. So when I came home after I got my degree, I had this fantasy that we'd just live together again. And she said, no, I'm gonna move in with my friend Ben. And I didn't know who Ben was because Jill and I are really close, never heard of this guy. So I hated him right away.
So I first noticed Gina before she ever noticed me. When I was looking at Jill's Facebook, just kind of browsing through her friends, Gina posted something on Jill's wall or something like that, and I made a comment or something about me being Jill's best roommate ever in the history of the world.
And I said, oh no. I picked up my phone, I called Jill right away. I said, Jill, please tell me who this is.
I just hear someone screaming on the other line. Jill was like, oh yeah, he's right here. I'm painting the living room with him. I could hear everything she was saying, and it didn't sound very nice.
He was my nemesis, at least, in my head. He took my friend away, my best roommate. Who is this guy?
Up to that point in my mind, I was just thinking, oh, it's just playful banter. I'm just like teasing this girl. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever meet or anything.
Jill and I were still friends, and we were gonna hang out. Jill said, why don't you come over, let's hang out. And I thought I had this opportunity to meet this guy. I did think it was kind of weird that I was a little excited because I didn't like him. So if I didn't like him, why was I excited?
So the first actual encounter that we had, she just kind of showed up in my kitchen.
And then I see the back of this guy at the stove cooking something.
So I was in the kitchen cooking ground beef on the stove. I looked at her and I was kind of trying to hide my excitement because I was thinking, oh man, this pretty girl's here. I gotta impress her.
And he turns around, looks, lifts a spatula and says, hey. And then he turns back around and keeps cooking.
She probably thought that was kind of weird, but it worked. She's marrying me now. So for anybody out there, wave a beef-covered spatula at a vegetarian, they'll love you forever.
I'd go and hang out with Jill a couple times, and Ben was there. And like I said, he never said too much, but he was really funny. And the things that he did say were really, really smart, and it was my sense of humor exactly.
Her and Jill were talking, and I kept thinking, like, she's a very confident person. She was very opinionated. The way she spoke was very strong.
I'm very quick, just generally as a person, to really, really love or really, really not love something right away. And he unfortunately started off on my, I really do not love this person at all, but that was so not true, because come to find out, when we hung out, there was just something there.
It sounded like she knew what she wanted, she knew what she hated, she knew what she liked and what she didn't like, and that was kind of impressive. My temperament is kind of the opposite of her.
He slows me down and I speed him up, and we have this happy medium in the beginning, or in the middle, and I think we noticed that from the beginning, because he listens, and he listened to everything I had to say, and he was so interested. And I didn't for a second think that he was pretending. I knew that he was genuinely interested, and I was interested too. I wasn't just humoring him like you can do with an acquaintance. I was curious and I wanted to know more, and he had this job that he absolutely loves, and I have a job that I absolutely love, and we didn't know anything about what each other does, and I still don't think we know anything about what the other one does.
I knew that I really liked her. I knew I wanted to spend more time with her. I wasn't really in a rush to just jump into a relationship or even jump into dating someone. If we keep having fun together, like it'll be obvious that we want to date each other. There's no reason to try to force anything.
I think we take relationships and our feelings very seriously. And I don't think people know this, but Ben and I didn't say I love you until over a year after we dated. Not because we didn't, but because I think we both know that those are words that neither of us would ever throw around, ever, unless it was something you just felt in entirety. And I think we felt it a long time before we said it.
I knew I was gonna say it. I had my arm around her. We were just kind of lounging, sitting on the couch, watching TV. I turned to her and I said something like, I have something I want to tell you. She said, what? I think I fumbled my words quite a bit, but I said, I just wanted to tell you that I love you. And she said, you do? And I said, yeah, I do. And she got all excited.
That was the first time we said I love you to each other. And looking back, that's just wild because I loved him so long before that. And I know he did too. You don't know what you have until they're gone. I don't remember if it was like 2 years in, but there was a time when, I definitely really loved Ben, but I don't know if it was just that time that a lot of people hit where they kind of have a little freak out and they're like, is this the rest of my life? Like, I'm 25, like, is this gonna be it? And I can't believe I did it, but I vividly remember sitting down and telling Ben, like, I wanted to take a break.
She's told me how she still really liked me, but she couldn't really be sure that I was the one. She hadn't really dated very much. She just graduated, and all through school she was really focused on getting through school, getting an education. She didn't really necessarily want to date someone else. She just kind of wanted to take a break, maybe for a while.
As soon as I said it, and he totally supported it. Didn't ask me to super explain. I just told him, I really need some time to just be alone for a little. And as I got in my car and drove home, I burst into tears immediately. I texted him as soon as I got home and said, oh my God, this is a big mistake. And he didn't text me back, but I think he was giving me some time.
I just thought I wasn't going to hear from her for I didn't know how long.
In the morning, I think I called him and said, and just explained, as soon as I left your house and after I uttered those words, like that was it. That's all I needed to know was how it felt to say that. And it was the worst feeling of anything ever coming out of my mouth.
In my mind, that felt even better than just her never even thinking about wanting to break up with me.
I knew at that point that a life without him is nothing that I ever wanted to experience.
So proposing was a whole different ball game. I knew that she really wanted her dad's approval. So I brought it up. I said, I have a really important question I want to ask you. And I asked if I could have his daughter's hand in marriage. I wasn't sure what he was going to say, but I knew that he liked me. So first he said no, as a joke. Then he said, of course you can. And he told me that he couldn't have handpicked a better person for his daughter, which made me kind of happy that I passed the test. It kind of came to the day that I wanted to propose, and I just picked that day because I had the ring. I had everything stashed before she sat down to watch TV.
So then he gets down on the floor in front of me and he holds my hands and he said something sappy because that's Ben. He said, I love you, you're the best in the world, you're, blah, blah, blah. And there goes my non-romantic side. But he said some really nice things. And then he pulled out a ring and said, will you marry me? And I thought, like Roger Rabbit cartoon eyes, holy cannoli, this ring.
I said, will you marry me, as I opened the box. And the words that came out of her mouth were, for that I will.
That's for me? That's the first thing I said. I get to keep it? And he said yes, and I said, the first thing I said was, did you ask Mark George? That's my dad. And he said, I did. And I said, and what'd he say? And he said, yes. And I said, well, then I say yes.
I'm very drawn to how compassionate she is.
He cares so deeply about everybody.
Empathy comes easy to people. If you see someone in desperate need of something, then it makes you want to help them. Compassion is different. Gina's she always thinks about people that are suffering. She thinks about giving people things that she has.
He loves the environment. When I met him, he had his dog Mario that he had forever. He took such good care of him. He was blind, he was deaf. He got to the point where he really couldn't walk. He was there for him.
I don't know if having and taking care of a crippled dog helped my chances at all. Maybe she thought I was caring. I don't know. I could make a good father someday.
He loves his family. He loves strangers. He's the type of guy who, when somebody drops something and walks away, he runs and picks it up and helps them. He'll open the door. He just is genuinely a really good-hearted person to everybody, not just to me, not just to his friends, not just to his family, to everybody.
The biggest thing is that just she always seems to put everybody else above her. One of the things I love about Gina is how vocal she is about what she's passionate about. So I think that's gonna come into play plenty when we have kids.
I think the feeling of actually being married and truly joining forces is an awesome thing, and I want to start a family. I'm not in a rush. Sorry to my mother-in-law. I am not in a big rush.
I'm really excited to raise kids with her. I can't wait to see how she is as a mother. I think she'll be a perfect mother.
Ben loves kids. I like kids too. And he's going to be an awesome dad. I'm actually worried already about keeping up with being like a cool mom, because I already think the kids are going to be like, my dad is so cool, my mom is so mean.
Gina, I love you so much, and I'm so looking forward to spending the rest of my life with you. We have so many plans for the future together, and I can't wait to see how they turn out. Your dress looks beautiful.
Ben, you are my everything. I don't want to spend a day without you. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you and be adult little kids forever, because that's what we are. And that's what I want to be, and that's what we are together. And I think the more we grow together, the more beautiful it's going to be. So I love you, and you're my husband.